Welcome to another video on smart architectural programming, and in today's video we'll be focusing on string manipulation, especially related to class 11 computer science courses. Good morning, tech builders of tomorrow. Today we're diving into one of the most coolest and most versatile tools in programming, strings. Imagine a string as a Lego block. Alone it's pretty simple, but with creativity and the right techniques you can use a string to build anything, from simple sentences to complex applications. And yes, unlike Legos, they're not painful to step on. Let's unpack how to twist, turn, and mold these blocks like coding ninjas in one shot. So, the first aspect that we need to focus on is the question of what are strings basically. A string essentially is a sequence of characters. Think of it as two things basically. Number one, text, your name, a sentence, or even this lecture's title, right? And number two, code. Behind the scenes, strings are just sequences of Unicode characters. For example, as you can see in the code right now on the screen, we have defined name equals to smart programming. That's a string, basically. Similarly, we have defined, when we print that out, it outputs smart programming, which is a string, basically. Fun fact, a string can hold anything. Letters, numbers, emojis, and even white space. Yes, even nothing counts. It's called empty strings. Number two, how do you manipulate strings? Basically, now what's the fun in just storing a string? Let's manipulate it like a coding wizard. So you can do it through different mechanisms. The first mechanism is accessing characters, where you slice strings like a chef. Strings are indexed. Each character has a position from 0. So for s equals to Python, S0 is P, and S1:4 is is basically YTH basically, right? Which includes this slicing operation includes the start and excludes the ending character. And you can see this as I talked about it. You could see what I'm talking about on the screen as well. Similarly, look at the next code, hello world, and you'll see how the three printing operations from S0, S-1, S7:12, how all of them are slicing and accessing certain aspects from the string using slicing operations. The next aspect that you need to focus on is modifying strings, which basically you need to remember that strings are immutable. They cannot be changed directly. But don't worry, you can create new strings instead, basically, if you can't edit the old ones. So as you can see on the screen right now, S equals to Python, right? But we can say S equals to S plus rocks, which is concatenation. And when we print, it says Python rocks. What basically happens is instead of changing the existing string value, we overwrite it with a new value, basically. So that's how you can modify strings. The third the way through which you can manipulate strings is basically common operations such as string gymnastics, right? So there are three different ways you can do string gymnastics. Number one is changing case. If you look at the screen right now, you'll see a text equals to smart programming, right? And we have print text.upper basically, which uses a function upper on the existing text function to print the value of the string text that we defined above in all caps basically. Similarly, if you look at print text.lower, you'll see the output is usually going to be smart programming, all in lowercase basically. But as all of it was already in lowercase, it didn't do anything. But these are two case functions, .lower, .upper, that you can use to change cases in strings. Then you need to do finding and replacing basically functions. So here you can see we have defined message as Python is fun, right? That's the value of message, MSG. Then we use print and we use msg.find fun basically. So what happens is output is 10 in this case. Why is it 10? It goes into the string 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So basically fun starts from the 10th character if you do the proper counting here. So that is why output is 10. Similarly, we do message msg.replace, where it tells go find fun, as you can see, and replace it with awesome. The first word is going to be the value that we need to replace, and the second value is the one that we replace it with. So it becomes from Python is fun to Python is awesome. And the final general operation that you can do in string gymnastics is splitting and joining. So in this case, you can see we have a CSV file, which is apple, banana, cherry, basically separated by commas. That's the string file here. Then we have fruits equals to csv.split. Basically, we're using the .split function to split the values of the string defined in CSV or based on the comma. So wherever comma we find a comma, we split the string there and start a new string. So the output when we print fruits, which is using the split function to save the value, is a list of apple, banana, and cherry strings separate from each other. Similarly, we can use the .join function. As you can see on the sentence here, we tell the .join function to join the values of fruits at the spacebar, basically, and then print that sentence, and we'll find that apple, banana, cherry are part of the single string, but they're joined together basically by space bars, and we've joined the list that we generated earlier in fruits using the .split function. Let's move on to a little more you could say advanced tricks to become really good, like becoming the Jedi master in strings, right? So first we need to do a palindrome check, right? What is a palindrome? Ever wondered if the word reads same forwards and backwards? So if we have a word called radar, right, as you can see, RADER, if we read it from the backside, it's also RADER, right? So that's a palindrome. So we need to check if the word is a palindrome. So how would we do that? Look at the screen. We need to do a palindrome check, right? What is a palindrome? Ever wondered if the word reads same forwards and back? You'll see a code that we have written that use slices or slicing operations to do that. So we do have a function is palindrome, which takes in a word, and we return that word. We return whether it is true or false, because palindrome function needs to check whether it's a palindrome or not. That's a true or a false, right? So we equate the given word with the slicing operation, which moves the word backwards using the step function within the slicing operations. And if both of these words are equal, then this is a palindrome. If it isn't, it's not a palindrome. The next thing is counting characters, right? So the next aspect of advanced strings that you need to look into for strings is counting characters. So how would you count characters in a string, right? So as you can see on the screen right now, we have a text banana. The value of a text variable is banana string, and then we use print text.count a. So we need to count how many times a occurred in this string, basically. So if we count manually, it's 3, and if we use the .count function, it's also 3. So this is a simple advanced function that you can use for strings. Then we have formatting strings. So modern programs demand dynamic content. So we use f strings in Python for a clean approach, basically. So as you can see on the screen right now, we have the name Alice, right? Age 17, right? Both of those are the variables that we define. Name is a string, age is a integer, right? And then we print using an f string, where we can dynamically place both of these values within the string. So f with curly braces, we have the name variable is a, then we have curly braces for the age variable, years old. So as we change the values of name and age, we don't need to change the string would change automatically. So that is basically best practices as a programmer that you might want to use. Let's move on to a few real world applications before we wrap up this video, right? So string manipulation isn't just a classroom topic, basically. It's the backbone of real world tasks. We use it in very, very important fields in programming. Web development, it is a very essential component of web development because it's used for formatting content, URLs, and data, and a lot of things basically in web development. Similarly, in data science, it's equally as important. It's used for parsing and cleaning data sets, right? And for cybersecurity, we have a similar case there as well, where we can encode and decode sensitive information using string manipulation techniques. And in games, displaying scores, levels, and messages dynamically is an essential component which requires string manipulation within that particular field. So it's quiz time, basically. So you need to put your skills to the test here. So basically, in the comments below, please try to answer this question to help build a foundation in string manipulation. and this skill of class 11 computer science. So write a program to reverse the string, smart programming, right? That's question number 1. Question number 2 is count number of vowels on the in the string, education, right? And then question number 3 is create a string from a list which includes code, learn, and build strings, right? All of these 3 questions you can see on the screen right now. Pause your screen right now and try to solve this question manually to build those skills of how a computer or string manipulation would deal with a certain certain program. Basically, answer these questions in the comments below. That will help you build the foundation to solve these problems. I'm going to presume that you've paused the screen, got those 3 questions done. So with that, congratulations, you've just unlocked the secret world of string manipulation. It's not just a topic, it's a superpower you'll almost use in every coding adventure. Keep experimenting, exploring, and creating. After all, the best way to learn programming is by playing with the code. Now go, my smart architects of programming, build something amazing today. With that, if you got any value from this video, please like and subscribe. And with that, we're going to wrap up our video and see you on our next video. Thank you.